Hello, and welcome to our virtual annual discipline meeting for the 2024-2025 school year. I am Dane Lamont, the School Partnership Specialist for Penn Highlands Dual Enrollment Program. During our fall 2024 semester, we plan to have our in-person ACE discipline meeting at the Penn Highlands Richland campus. Unfortunately, poor weather conditions forced us to cancel the event this year. However, our college liaisons were still able to hold recorded Zoom sessions to discuss specific topics related to the disciplines you teach. Please enjoy this recording of your annual discipline-specific activity, and we hope you can join us in person next year. Thank you for making this program possible for your school and your students.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Elijah Bremer, and welcome. This would be normally would be our breakout session for our discipline for the Humanities division, and specifically for the art courses and the painting and sculpting courses. I am the adjunct instructor that has been reviewing some of you. I've met some of you before. We are going to be posting this video and making it available. I have to say that it's a little silly on my end, or it seems a little silly on my end this evening, talking into my screen like this. Normally, this would be an opportunity where I get to meet with all of you, or I get to sit down, talk to you about how the semester is going, speak a little bit about the expectations of the college when it comes to how the material for our courses is being handled in your own school districts, and to get a feedback from you, a sense from you of what's working, what isn't working. For me, as I'm relatively still new in this position, to get an understanding of who's doing what and how long you have been in this role for us, and just generally what your questions and comments are. So we've booked for this about an hour, but of course, I think that would be a little bit of an overshot for the format that we're currently dealing with. So, as I said, this video presentation will be made available for you, and then if you have any questions or concerns, you may always contact me through Pennsylvania Highlands, or through Kaylee, or through Dane Lamont. And really, we're only ever a phone call, an email, a contact away. So keep that in the back of your minds. Now, as we kind of progress through this evening, I'm just going to share with you a few key thoughts that I have in lieu of being able to speak with you and address a couple of common concerns that I have heard over the 2 semesters that I've been doing this. This is the 3rd semester now, the 2 previous semesters, and just some of the things that I hear very frequently from some of our instructors out on the high school level. Now, hopefully, this goes off without a hitch, and I'm going to share a screen here, and I'd like to go over a couple of quick things. All right. So what I have up now is our library page through Pennsylvania Highlands Community College. One of the things that our instructors frequently tell me depends on which subject you're teaching and what kinds of assignments you're giving and grading, and what rubrics you're using, what you're turning into us for evaluation at the end of the day. But what I do frequently hear is, how can I help my students understand college expectations for writing and for turning in papers? So if you didn't know, if you were unaware, just wanted to make quick mention of the work that Alex Kirby, one of our research librarians, has done in making citation guidelines and just some general hints, tips, and tricks available both for the faculty and for the students. So this is our library page, which you can access directly through our homepage. You can take a look here as a student, or recommend to your students style guides in both MLA and APA format. We have also, as I'm sure you're aware, become very friendly towards artificial intelligence, especially in the English department here, where we are encouraging the responsible and guided use of AI, not just for research, but for writing and revision. So all of those things are available here. If we were to click on high school resources, for example, your students can go through, read our little blurb here, which talks about the Associates in High School program, talks about ACE classes being able to use our database and having access to all kinds of things here. So if you were wondering, what can I do to support my students in terms of their writing and improving their writing, check out the library page. It's got some great resources. I am an MLA guy, so let's just really quickly look at MLA format, the Modern Language Association, and you will see that we have a nifty little compendium here of sources for you guys to use, formatting MLA style papers, in-text citations, works cited, and an MLA sample paper, as well as a practice page. So if you go take a look at the text citations, how do we do that? If your students have questions, there's a little cheat sheet here, short quotes, long quotes, the whole lot, right? In art, we talk about citing works of art. And so in this case, we have in the MLA format all the resources that your students would need in order to be able to cite a piece of art. That includes the author, the date, and the publication information, as well as the access information. So long story short, library is here. It includes faculty resources as well, AI teaching resources, open educational resources. Take a look at AI, and we have a little breakdown of how to understand it, policies for the college on artificial intelligence, and then teaching and using artificial intelligence, using it and integrating it in the classroom. So I cannot stress enough that our library is always available. That's one thing that I have commonly heard. Do you have a set of standards? What should our students expect if they're going to continue their education either at Penn Highlands or at another institution? Is there something that I can show them? And the answer is yes. Check out our library page, MLA or APA format. The other thing that I would like to at least address briefly this evening, before I get to a few examples of assessment, is the concern that we have that for the most part, as talented professional individuals, we want to let you be creative and approach the material in your own way, but we want to be available to you, and we want to make sure that our resources are available to you as well. One thing that I do hear frequently is that a lot of this material is taught in conjunction with an AP class that is already running. Maybe you only have one or two students who are registered to receive credit through Penn Highlands, who are paying, in essence, to take this course and receive credit for it. And so you're not building an entirely new course. You're simply adding or augmenting what you already have and what you already use. That's perfectly fine, as long as the expectations that we have that are set out in course syllabi are being met. And again, I apologize to you guys if I sound like I am being pretty elementary or if this is in any way, shape, or form redundant. But in lieu of being able to see you at our scheduled meeting, I won't be available that night. At least you'll have this as a reference point. So you can always come back to me, ask some questions. I'll show you some of my contact information a little bit later before we sign off. Okay. So at this point, I would really kind of ask you guys how your experience has been, and if you had any suggestions for us in terms of how we can support and how we can better equip or supply you. Most of the people that I've spoken with this year, I've had 3 evaluations that I've conducted in art and in sculpting, and most of the talented instructors that I have spoken to have been doing this for a while. They're doing very well. They have their own unique approach. They're in very well equipped public school districts. And so access to materials, not usually an issue. Access to resources, not usually an issue. If it ever becomes one, you please let us know, and we are here to help provide some support. Okay. Now, I guess the big thing that this evening's presentation, that this meeting is really geared toward, is discussing the standards that Penn Highlands has for our own instructors, and then also what we would expect of you as high school instructors teaching our curriculum, our material. And in order to talk about that, I think the best way is probably to show you. So again, I'm going to bear with me for a second. I'm going to bring up another screen. And again, if all goes well, this recording should be capturing the use of that screen. Okay, I'm going to switch over to, yep, there we go. So what you should see in front of you is an example of a syllabus And this syllabus actually was still in place and being used in 2024 for the art history class. I had the privilege of teaching that in spring of 2024 on campus in Richland. And so the syllabi are the key to all of our standards and all of our expectations. So, of course, the fact that it says Wojcik simply denotes that he is the chairperson for the Humanities department. The history department, Humanities falls under that. And so it is listed under the chairperson's name. This is the Introduction to Art History approved syllabus. It clearly states that there are, for our purposes, no prerequisites, no co-requisites, gives you a course description. That's the other issue that I hear most frequently, let's say for an art history course. Ours is set up to deal with a 15-week semester. Some of you are running courses that last for an entire year. Some of you actually have prerequisites. You might be doing this in conjunction with an AP class that had a lower level art that was a prerequisite. Okay, those are all workaround issues that doesn't affect the content of this particular course. Again, as long as you're focused on what's going on in the syllabus and that whatever you're doing in your classroom is meeting these requirements that we're going to spell out in a second. Textbook is there. Gardner's Art Through the Ages, which of course is a classic textbook, fourth edition currently, and that is the one that we are still using. Course topics are listed, and then course competencies and outcomes are listed as well. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 basic competencies. When you are doing assessments, they should line up with these course competencies. And so, for example, we have given you a metric to follow. Student will be able to name an artist responsible for a work of art effectively evidenced by A and B. A series of paintings through a slide format, be able to identify the technique at a success rate of about 70%, or given a series of paintings through a slide format, the students will be able to identify the style of that artist at a success rate, again, of 70%. So we're shooting for C level. Now, how you choose, what slides you choose, how you choose to evaluate and assess student performance, that is entirely up to you. If you're going to do that through a traditional pencil and paper test format with images of the works of art, if you're going to do that through a slideshow presentation, if you are going to do that through short reflections or essays or any other metric, again, not as important to us how you do it, as long as the spirit of what you do conforms to the standards that we have set in place. I mean, I could be completely boring and go through all 4 of these points. I think that would be overkill. You all get it. You know what you're doing. I'm not here to babysit you. I'm just here to remind you. So students would identify a series of paintings, sculptures, mixed media. Students will be able to identify the name of a piece of artwork effectively as evidenced by. And then again, we give you suggestions for all of these things. When I have done my evaluations last semester and this current semester, I have asked each of the instructors to please, when they receive their evaluation, their completed evaluation form from me, not only that they read it and sign off on it, but that they attach to it an example of a project or an assessment that you have used, they have used in their classroom, and a very brief 1 to 2 paragraph statement that simply says, okay, this is how what I am doing corresponds to one of the expected outcomes as per Penn Highland's syllabus. This is a particular focus for all of us because we are updating, we are going through our middle states accreditation, and we want to be darn sure that we are able to present any evaluating team with metrics that follow our expectations. So when we do these evaluations this year, it's particularly important that you do add your own commentary and that you do show us exactly what you're doing and how it is working for us. Okay. Again, this is just kind of the generic syllabus. We follow that 15-week format. And some of you tell me, hey, I do this for a year. So guess what? I get to more information than you actually require, or I spread it out. Or in the case of a painting and sculpting class, I supplement what you guys give me with other activities that could include, actually, we had a particularly interesting one not that long ago, which included some stained glass, which included sculpting out of metal, um, doing some different things that weren't necessarily part of our expectations and going above and beyond. Last year, I believe it was last year, right around this time, I had fantastic experience of witnessing a music class where the students were playing classical music on boomwhackers, which is above and beyond anything that they would be getting currently in a Penn Highlands classroom, simply because we don't have access to that particular, albeit basic, piece of technology. So that was really cool for me to experience. And it was really great to see how those upper level music students were responding to that. So I'm going to stop share here for a second, get back to full screen. Okay. So again, I'm only hitting about 15 minutes with you, even though we've planned up to about an hour, and there's not much that I can effectively say and do beyond addressing some of the points that I just did, especially when it comes to your assessments. So, again, final reminders on those. Please, when you have your evaluations, your instructors, your evaluators, your liaisons like myself, should be completing those after making contact with you in a reasonable amount of time, giving you time to provide feedback, um, ask questions if you need to ask questions, reach out for support if you need support. You should know the name and the contact information for your liaison. You can easily get that, of course, through Kaylee or through Dane at our ACE office in Penn Highlands. You can reach out to me at any time. It is simply Bremer, B as in boy, Bremer, at pennhighlands.edu. Or you can call, and actually, even if you Google me, my phone number will come right up. And so I encourage you, you can call or text me at any time as well. It's 814-977-7397. Of course, identify yourself, what department or what school, and I will be happy to help in any way, shape, or form that I can. Kind of going over everything in my mind, and I realize that when we do this, we say way too much, so I apologize for that too. That's about all that I can think of, really. If I had other instructors here with me, we could play off your questions, and we could really address some specific points. But I don't know otherwise how to do that. I will say this: I have been including updated versions of all the syllabi for those instructors that I have evaluated this semester. Now, that might be something that you want to ask for if for some reason or another you have not gotten an updated copy of the syllabus via email. You are always entitled to those. You should, in fact, have the latest version of the syllabus so that you can see exactly what our expectations are from the point of view of the college. Okay. So again, just kind of looking at my clock here, we're hitting at about 20 minutes, and I think that I've probably said everything that I could possibly say with regard to assessments and with regard to our expectations, as long as what you are doing in your particular school district meets our standards and expectations as set out by the syllabus, that your grades reflect accurately students' progress, and that you are giving us a copy of some example of the metric that you are using and relating it directly to one of our course competencies, then we're in great shape. And I know that every one of the instructors that I have ever had the pleasure of reviewing and evaluating has been welcoming. They've been kind. They've been extremely competent. They have had great rapport with their students. That's why you're doing this. So I encourage you to continue to do what you're doing, and I encourage you to reach out at any time. Now, my apologies that I actually don't get to see all of you in person and that I will be missing our upcoming dinner. But also my best wishes for a happy Thanksgiving, and I hope you celebrate it, and I hope everyone has at least one thing that they are truly grateful for, if not many, many, many more. And beyond that, a very happy and healthy, safe, blessed holiday season, which includes but is not limited to Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, solstice, or anything else that you may celebrate. Whatever it is, I hope it's merry, I hope it's bright, I hope it's happy, and that you have a healthy new year. All right. I'm only ever a phone call or an email away. Please reach out, and I wish you all well. You guys have a great night, and I hope I get to see you very, very soon. Take care.